boom, trigger point. So what they're doing is they're shocking their mind to get away from thinking negative thoughts to being positive. Okay, I'm going to do it one more time because I really want to. I don't want to murder the point, but I really want to get the point across. Okay, yeah. So again, what most goalkeepers do, because they're not taught, where they make a mistake, they put their head down, they put their hands up, they apologise to everyone, they start thinking about that mistake that they've just done while they're still playing, and that programs your mind to make the same mistake. Okay, but if you do a trigger point, boom, trigger point, and that shocks your mind, okay, to think positive, to think, okay, great news. Okay, so you're not thinking negative now. You're going to go, oh, great news, that's it. I'm not going to make a mistake for another 15 games statistically. Brilliant. And then the trigger point, you get all that adrenaline of all the great saves you made. Can you understand how trigger points are so important? I promise you, every professional goalkeeper will be using a trigger point. Some will be blatantly obvious. You'll see them do this, you'll see them do this. You'll see a lot of them bang the studs on the post. Quite a lot of goalkeepers do that. But they'll all have some type of trigger point, because what they're doing is they're shocking the mind to immediately stop thinking negative, to boom, back to positive within a split second. And that's when you look at goalkeepers and you think, they just made a mistake, and you're watching them on TV, or you might go and watch them live. They've just made a mistake and they're not bothered. And as I say, yeah, they are gutted to let a goal in, but they're not bothered, because that trigger point puts them in a good mood. They think, right, wow, I'm not going to make a mistake now for another 15 games. And all the adrenaline, when they do this, it reminds them of all the great saves that they've made. So I hope that makes sense. That's what you need to do as a trigger point. Okay, first of all, start collecting your statistics. When are you gonna, when do you, and also it gives you a target as well. So if you know that you're making a mistake every 10 games, okay, your target then is, right, 11 games, 12 games, 15 games, 20 games, 30 games. It gives you a target to go for, because if you've not got a target to go for, you're never going to hit that target. Okay, so it's important that you get the statistics right, and it's super important that whenever you do something good, give yourself a trigger point. But please make sure, okay, yeah, the ball is away from you. You don't want to be making a save and it goes out, to the attacker, and you're doing a trigger point and then they shoot and they score. So you want to make sure that they go. Remember that save in your head. Trigger point makes you feel fantastic about yourself. So when you're playing and you make a mistake, that trigger point will help you big time. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And another thing I'm going to come back to as well is visualization. I'll speak about visualization in every video. It's super important. So what I want you to do is every time before you play, the night before you play, is visualize yourself having a fantastic game. Okay, honestly, visualize yourself having a fantastic game. The more you visualize, coming for crosses, perfectly, making top corner saves, penalty saves, communicating with your defenders, having the perfect back pass. Literally go through every scenario in your head where you have the perfect game. I promise you, again, it still might sound a bit hocus pocus because we're only into week 2, but I'm going to be mentioning visualization in every single video, because visualization is that important. Okay, so your homework is to make sure that you're always doing your visualization before every single game, ideally every day. I used to visualize every single day. Okay, even if it was only for 5-10 minutes, I used to visualize every single day, but at least do it before the game. So the next thing I want you to do, this is your homework as well. Okay, so if you've made a mistake in a game, okay, so this is something that you can do now. Okay, obviously you can do it now, but also if you make a mistake, this is the next thing I want you to do as well with visualization. So whenever you make a mistake in a game, so let's say for example you let a goal in from 500 yards and it went through your legs. Okay, yeah, no, that's not going to happen, but let's say that happened. Okay, yeah, so let's say that happened, last weekend, or even if it happened 3 months ago. What I want you to do, okay, yeah, because you're doing the 30-day challenge, what I want you to do is obviously, visualize what that mistake that you made, and then what I want you to do is rewrite that memory. Okay, sounds weird, bear with me. Rewrite that memory. So instead of letting that shot in through your legs from 500 yards, you visualize yourself making the save. You visualize yourself doing everything right. So let's say you made a mistake just a few days ago in the last game. You think, okay, right, okay. So one of the things that you always need to do is visualize the mistake that you've made, and then rewrite that memory and just keep going over and over and over again until that mistake was a save. Okay, and I promise you, the next time that happens in a game, you'll make the save. Because it's very, very, very rare a goalkeeper will make the exact same mistake. Okay, even the subconscious will stop that happening. Okay, but if you consciously change that memory, it'll happen even better and even faster for you. So that's what it's so super. Visualization is everything. Okay, so again, whatever mistake you make in a game, okay, yep, you visualize that mistake, and then you go over in your mind. You basically just wiping that memory away from a mistake to a save, and I promise you that will help you. And also try and recreate it in training as well. Okay, so that'll be your next homework. So ask your parents, your friend, the coach, the manager. Go and speak to the coach or the manager and say, hey coach, listen, I know I got beat from 500 yards. Look, can I just spend 10 minutes, at the end of the session, I just want to recreate that scenario where I made that mistake. And what you do is you just make sure that you do 10 saves. So you're visualizing, you're rewriting it in your mind, and then you do it physically. Okay, and that's what professional goalkeepers will do as well. If they make a mistake, they'll erase it in their mind and replace it with a positive, with a save, but they'll recreate it in training as well. Okay, yeah. And I promise you, when that same scenario happens again, the chances of making that same mistake is super, super slim. And that's why as you get older and more experienced as a goalkeeper, that's why you might, to start off with, you might make a mistake every 5 games, then it's 6 games, then it's 10 games, then it's 20 games, then it's 40 games. And you do that by visualization and also put it into practice in training, okay? So I hope that makes sense. As I say, please, obviously, any questions that you've got, anything that you don't understand, please drop me an email. But that's your homework, okay? That's your homework, is to do exactly what I've just said in this video today. And I look forward to seeing you in the next challenge. All the best.